Hey, what's up everyone? My name's Nigel, and I'm actually really excited about today's video because we're going to be reviewing a color grading plugin for your video editor called Filmconvert. Now, the people at Filmconvert were nice enough to give me this plugin for free, but as with all my reviews, I'm not getting paid, and this is going to be my honest and unbiased opinion. So if you haven't heard of Filmconvert before, or you're just not really sure what it does, basically it's a film stock emulation plugin for your video editing software like Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro. Basically what it's designed to do is to help color grade your footage and give your digital video more of a filmic look. So there's a bunch of different film stocks that you can choose from, as well as different grain that you can choose to add on to your video as well. And you can adjust a bunch of different things within the plugin depending on how drastic of a change you want from your digital footage into what the film stock emulation is going to look like. So what I wanted to do in this video was, instead of just going out filming a bunch of random clips and then color grading them with the plugin, I thought, why don't I try to recreate a scene that was from a movie that was shot on film. So one of my favorite movies is a Wes Anderson movie. It's called Moonrise Kingdom. And so what I decided to do was to try to recreate a scene from that movie. And obviously I'll be shooting it digitally with my Panasonic camera, but I wanted to see if I could get my final product to look like film using the Filmconvert plugin. So this is what I came up with.
16 miles long, forested with old-growth pine and maple, crisscrossed by shallow tidal creeks, Chickasaw territory. There are no paved roads, but there comes Jed with the mail. But instead, many miles of intersecting dirt paths and foot trails, and a ferry that runs twice daily from Stone Cove. The year is 1965. We are on the far edge of Black Beacon Sound, famous for its ferocious and well-documented storm, which will strike from the east on the 5th of September, in 3 days' time.
Okay, now if you have never seen Moonrise Kingdom, I definitely recommend that movie. It's a really fun movie to watch. But if you want to reference the scene that I am recreating here, I'll put a little card right up there where you can go watch the original scene from that movie. So let's just get into how I went about shooting that scene. Now, Moonrise Kingdom was shot on Super 16mm film, and so I wanted to try to recreate that look as closely as I could. Now, I'm shooting on a Panasonic Micro Four Thirds camera, which the sensor is pretty small, and Super 16 I believe is actually a bit smaller than that. I used to shoot with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, the original one, and that one had a Super 16mm sensor, which was a 2.88 crop. And so I tried to use that math when I was trying to recreate this scene. So I obviously didn't have any vintage or old glass to shoot with. I shot with my 12 to 35mm Lumix lens and a variable ND filter. The Zeiss Super Speeds, one of the wider lenses, was a 9.5, and I think that works out to about 27-ish. So I tried to shoot at like 13 on my zoom lens. I also did put a little bit of effort into the wardrobe, which my little brother who acted in that scene was wearing. I tried to match it up as closely as I could to the original actor in Moonrise Kingdom. Another thing that obviously helped was there was really nice overcast skies, so I wasn't gonna be blowing out my highlights at all. It was all really nice, even lighting, similar to how it was in the film. So now let's get to color grading this footage and trying to make it look as close to film as I possibly can. So I'm gonna try to get the footage as close to looking like it's supposed to look before I add the Filmconvert Nitrate plugin.
We are on the far edge of Black Beacon Sound, famous for its ferocious and well-documented storm, which will strike from the east on the 5th of September.
One other thing that I did is, a characteristic with vintage lenses is that the highlights tend to bloom. Now, what a lot of people do is they use a black Pro Mist filter by Tiff, and they do that to try to get their newer lenses to look a little bit more vintage and have a characteristic of blooming highlights. But I didn't have a black Pro Mist filter, but what I did was I just did a little trick where I keyed out the highlights and kind of blurred them with a Gaussian blur, and then just layered it on top of my footage so that my highlights would look like they're blooming even though I wasn't shooting on a vintage lens. So now that we got our footage color corrected to where it kind of looks how we want it to look, now I'm gonna add the Filmconvert Nitrate plugin.
Crisscrossed by shallow tidal creeks.
So the first thing that we're gonna do within Filmconvert is tell Filmconvert which camera this was shot on. So I shot that scene on my Panasonic GH3, and what's really cool is that Filmconvert is actually compatible with a lot of different cameras. And all you have to do is just go to the Filmconvert website and download the camera pack for the camera that you shot on. So I have a Panasonic GH3, so I downloaded that camera pack, and then I can just choose my camera right here, and I can just go down to Panasonic GH3, and I shot it in the natural profile, so I'm gonna pick natural. So that's gonna adjust the Filmconvert emulation and make all the colors work well based on how you shot the footage. So that's one thing that you'll definitely wanna do, is download the camera pack for the camera that you're shooting on, and that's gonna help Filmconvert work the best on the footage that you shoot. So the film stock that was used on Moonrise Kingdom was Kodak Vision 3 5213 film stock, which coincidentally Filmconvert has as one of their film stocks that you can use. So I'm going to use that and put it onto my footage. And for the grain, I'm going to choose Super 16 grain, and then I'm going to turn the strength to about 50% or so, because we don't want it too grainy to where it looks like we're trying too hard. So that's really all I did to emulate the look of 16mm film on my footage using Filmconvert. And honestly, this plugin just makes it so simple, and it's really cool that they have film stocks on here that a lot of films actually use. So it makes it easier to emulate the look of different movies if you can actually choose the film that those movies were shot on. So I think that that's really cool. But yeah, overall, I really like Filmconvert. I think that it's really cool, and I've actually been color grading the last 3 or 4 of my videos here on YouTube with Filmconvert, and I would definitely recommend it if you're trying to simplify your color grading process. And this definitely works well if you are trying to, get that filmic look with your footage, because there's just so many different film stocks that you can choose from, and you can have it be as subtle or as very in your face as you want it to be. And what's really cool is that Filmconvert was nice enough to give you, my viewers, a discount on this plugin. So all you have to do is click the link in the description below, and that will automatically apply the discount, or you can just use the coupon code NigelBarros for 10% off at checkout. So definitely go check out that link. Filmconvert's rad, it's really fun to play around with, and it actually does what it's supposed to do, which I think is really cool. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, it'd be really cool if you hit the like button, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content from me. You can click right over there for more playlists and videos. Again, thanks for stopping by, and I will see you next time. Later.